What's going on, people? It's Jimy Lincoln with SpitFireHipHop. We have a special guest with us today from the streets of the Bronx to the trenches of Rochester. This brother has carved out his own lane with discipline, honesty, and that vintage MC craftsmanship you don't hear every day. He's an artist who lived a life, learned from it, and now raps from a place most people never reach: clarity. His new album, Serenity, produced entirely by Silent Someone, is a grown man statement piece. It's soulful, it's aggressive in a positive way, and it's the kind of music that hits differently depending on where you are in your own life. Today, we're diving into the journey, the scars, the elevation, and the new mindset behind the music. Ladies and gentlemen, artists, creators, and hip hop lovers everywhere, put your hands together for Crotona P. Crotona, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me, my brother.
Yeah, again, man, I appreciate your time. We're gonna get right into the questions, man. When you hear Crotona and 179th, what comes to mind, man?
I think that's home. That's my hometown. That's where I've been at since the age of 3. You know what I mean? Before I moved up here to Rochester at 32, that's where I grew up at. That block right there, East 179th Street, Crotona Ave. So that's home to me. That's all I ever knew. The schoolyard where everybody from every block came over and played together. You know what I'm saying? And then went through everything together. You know what I mean? So that's home to me.
Right, right. Now the Bronx, man, the birthplace of hip hop. What does
Mm,
what does that mean to you? You know, I mean, it's different to everybody, but you're from the home where hip
yeah,
hop started. That has to mean something
yeah.
different to you.
Yeah, I mean, we take pride in that. I think everybody from the Bronx that raps, at least I would hope so, that you take pride in the fact that it's the birthplace. You know what I mean? And you got when I make my music, I keep that in mind. I carry that with me wherever I go. That's why I kept the name Crotona P, being that it's
Nah,
from
good.
that it's a block from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I kept that name just to also carry my hood and carry my borough with me.
No, that's good stuff, man. That's good. And again, it has to mean a whole lot to you to rep, the Bronx, the birthplace, and do it in such a way that you do it.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, no, I'm proud. I'm proud of my town. I didn't leave for any, specific reasons. I just wanted some change, and I found it in Rochester, New York. But the Bronx is always first and foremost. My mother's still up there. You know what I'm saying? So I always touch back down just to make sure that everything is straight over there. You know?
Right, right. No, good stuff. Good stuff. Now you mentioned going through wasted years. What I guess was there a moment that you realized, you had to fully commit to music?
Um, I think it was when I left the Bronx for Rochester, New York. Once I met Schizo Flows from Hex Nation, and he showed me how to get financial gain from the music. That's when I decided to take it a little bit more seriously and actually commit to what I was doing fully. Because now there was an actual lane to make some kind of money from it. Because for years we did it for free. We did it for the love, and we did it with hopes of getting signed and stuff like that. But once he showed me that independently we could do it, where we could start making our own money independently and finding our little support systems that help out with the finances and buying our records and stuff like that. So once he showed me that, it was smooth sailing from there. I knew that I had to commit and take it seriously from that point.
Right, right. Were there any others that besides Schizo that maybe showed you something or gave you a gem here or there?
The different members from Hex Nation that was the crew that Schizo was down with, that he was the general of, and he put me down with at the time. Um, Different members of the crew like CeeLo Dubai, Blast Blicker. These are all people that were making money off the music. So they basically were showing me different ways on how to promote myself better and how to work the system so we could get some kind of change back from it. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay. And let's talk about the Bronx and Rochester. The Bronx energy versus the Rochester energy. What did each city get right about you, and what did they get wrong about you, if you will?
Well, the only thing they could have got right about me is probably the fact that I'm a recluse. You know what I mean? I enjoy my
Okay.
solitude.
Okay.
I enjoy my solitude, and I'm fond of I'm not too fond of being around stupidity. So I stick to myself. I'm driven, but for the most part, what they know mainly is through the music. If they actually listen, they'll notice that my heart is big, and that I take pride in what I do, and I take pride in the craft.
No, that's good. That's good. And we're talking about I guess the mindset and moving into Serenity, the album. What situation recently showed you the difference, if you will, between old Crotona and Serenity Crotona?
Um, I think the difference, it's not much of a difference. I'm still the same MC. I'm still the same person. But I think with this particular album, the landscape, the soundscapes, better said, they kind of took me to a level where I could speak more freely and honestly about whatever I wanted to, but do it in a way where I didn't have to just do it straightforward. I could jump from emotion and topic to topic if I felt like it through the album. You know what I mean?
And what was in the past? What was holding you back from doing that? Was it the music? Was it where you were
I think
mentally?
that I think mentally I was too caught up in what I thought people wanted to hear from me, other than what I wanted to hear from myself. You know what I'm saying? I think
Okay.
I was
And
too I
when?
was too caught up. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go
Go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I think I was just too caught up in pleasing the masses instead of pleasing myself first. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. No, that makes sense, and that's a roadblock for a lot of us, man. Whether it's
Mhm.
our parents growing up, if it's an older brother that you're trying to to please or whomever, right? In everyday
Mhm.
life, that happens to a lot of us, where we're trying to please certain people, and we forget about ourselves, right?
Mhm.
So
Basically, yeah.
so with Serenity, if Serenity is the soundtrack to say one chapter of your life, what's that title and what's the hardest page you had to face?
Um, I think the chapter would be called probably "Finding Peace Through Acceptance." Um, and the hardest page would probably be the one that speaks on no matter how much you may want love from the world, you gotta, ultimately find it from within. Once you can
Right.
get that in your head, once you can get that part in your head, then you should be okay.
And you said finding it through peace. Is that through peace with yourself? Is that through peace with
Through
someone else?
acceptance. Yeah, finding
Through
peace through
acceptance.
acceptance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's basically just accepting the things that come your way, and once you start to accept them, that they're there for a reason, whether that's to make you better or whatever the case may be. Once you learn to accept that things happen, everything happens for a reason. You'll be better off. You'll find more peace within yourself, in my opinion. At least that's my
Okay.
experience. Yeah,
No, that's good. That's good. And that's probably similar for a lot of people too, man.
yeah,
Again, when you start to accept, who you are, it makes you stronger, right? Mentally,
hmm
physically. It's like, hey, man, this
yeah,
is this
yeah,
is who I am, and this is what I represent.
hmm
So,
exactly.
so talk about what does positive aggression look like, off the mic to you? So away from the mic.
Um, I would say, I would say probably positive aggression. The way it looks to me, right? It's like it's basically a lot, showing everybody respect and kindness first, and
Okay.
then matching whatever energy is given to me afterwards. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, and that's not
Okay.
that's not always what you hear from hip hop artists, man. Respect first, right?
Yeah,
That's not
respect and kindness, man. Everybody deserves that. I think a lot of people get caught up in the whole you got to earn my respect. No, I think everybody deserves a certain amount of level of kindness and respect from the start. You know what I mean?
correct.
Whether or not you choose to cross a line that changes that, that's ultimately up to you. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I try to approach everybody with kindness, respect, and like sometimes I get it back, sometimes I don't, and that's when I got to make a personal decision for myself because I can't move in life if I feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying?
And that's big, man, because I learned that, as a young man too, from my mom, respect and kindness.
Yeah,
You respect everyone until they don't respect you, right? And then you have to
exactly.
change the direction. But it's and I'm sure you've heard, anyone from New York, they have a bravado, a certain way of doing things, and you just don't hear that first, right? You don't think, especially
Hmm.
from the Bronx, you don't hear that, hey,
Yeah,
respect and kindness. So that's
yeah.
that's cool. I appreciate that.
I think it's come with age. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a young buck. I'm 48 years old. I think it's come with age. As time goes on, you experience things in life, and you start to look at the things that really matter and the things that really don't. And I think focusing on the things that don't matter just bring you more stress in life, and take away that piece that you're searching for, if that's what you're searching for. Some people just like being angry, though. Some people like that. Some people just like that vibe, and they just want to be mad all day. And then, by all means, whatever works for you. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, at this point in my life, I'm looking for more peace, more calmness, and maybe it's old age. I don't know. Call it what it is. But like I'm happy with the way my life is going at the moment.
No, I appreciate that, man. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
And talking about peace and serenity, of course, the title of the album. Let's talk about Silent Someone and the creative process with the album. Did Silent Someone, play a beat for you that kind of forced you to confront something you didn't want to talk about, and it came out on this album or in the songs that you
No,
that you
not
created?
at all. Not at all. No, I think what he provided basically was just a sound that allowed me to speak more freely and allow me to be more creative. Since he was so creative in a lot of the choices that he had in production that he was sending me, I was just trying to match that creativeness and just with flows and being able to jump from, like I said earlier, jump from topic to topic in a song and still make it make sense all the way through. I took more creative chances with that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
I think it was due to the production actually, because it took me to probably to a place that I've been trying to go to for a while. I think a lot of times in this underground game, you get a lot of like a dark and murky sounding beats, for underground music, and I just felt like I needed something different, and I think Silent actually, came around at the right time, that I was looking for a different sound.
Right, right. Now I listened to the album, man, and from the very start, the sound on introduction, it took me back to when I was a young cat, man, and the artist that I listened to, um, and it was familiar to me, right? So it brought
Mhm.
back, a certain feeling for me. Can you talk about, the song introduction? The again, the production is crazy, but what you said on that is even more meaningful. Can you talk a little about that song?
Yeah, that song basically, I was basically talking about a few different things, and it was like, the part from when I came from New York to Rochester, the reasons why, basically trying to avoid a lifestyle that I was living over there, over here. I wanted to make a change for myself. Um, the person who actually gave me the opportunity to come up to Rochester saw the life that I was living over there and said, P, I think, either you're gonna end up dead or in jail. So come up to the Rock and give it a chance and see if maybe you could change your life around. You're 32 years old. You're not getting no younger. So being out here in the street doing dumb stuff is just gonna be end up bad for you. So basically, it was me saying how I left New York because I didn't want to look over my shoulder no more. And then I ended up working a square job, basically where you're they what they give you to look forward to is a retirement plan, and with the hopes that you probably die early and don't and you're not able to cash in to the retirement plan. So it was just like a lot of things that I was going through in my life that I just basically jumped around and spoke about in there. But at the end of the day, it was about the hard work that you got to put in, in order to see results in life.
Right, right, right. And talk about the title of the album, if you will, Katrona. If you can talk about how you arrived to that title, if you had the title first and then you start to put the songs on the album, or if you wrote all your songs and then all of a sudden at the end, oh, okay, I'm gonna call this the album Serenity or name the album Serenity. How did you arrive at the title?
I think it was from the first song, like you spoke about a second ago, introducing. I basically in the song said that I was trying to find that peace comes with acceptance. I said that in the song, and from that point forward, I was like, okay, like this is like a positive message that I'm trying to put forward. So I got to find a way to be me and do what I normally do, but do it also with a positive twist to it. And that's where I came up with the name Serenity, because I feel like at this point in my life, I'm probably the most calm and the most peaceful that I've been in years. You know what I mean? I've always had a level of aggression and anger, probably due to like past traumas. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of shit you go. Excuse me, a lot of stuff you go through in life that I'm just trying to basically deal with that trauma and just try to put it in my music so people could feel what I'm feeling at the moment. I feel music, shows a lot of different things, a lot of highs and lows, and like it's just like life. You basically showing what you're going through at the moment. And at this point in my life, I'm just showcasing a high point in my life and not a low point in my life.
Right, right. No, I appreciate that, man. And I heard something recently from a psychologist here in Austin where he says
Yeah.
that a lot of people allow that little person in them, meaning those traumas from when they were, children, control who
Hmm.
they are as adults now, right? And a
Hmm.
lot of us do
Hmm.
that. And I have sons. My wife and I, we have two sons, man. I'm trying not to pass on stuff from when I was a kid that happened to me to them, right? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
the little person in them, when they become of age, doesn't control them, and they see things for what they
Yeah.
are, and they just respond to them.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, a lot of it, you're 100% right. A lot of it, probably, a lot of my anger was due to my relationship with my dad. You know what I mean? It hasn't really been a great one. It's been very volatile. But as for the last couple years, he's been making an attempt to be more a part of my life and to actually call me and see how I'm doing and actually build a relationship. Which he never really did. But now that I'm close to 50, he's choosing to do it. But I'm I'm happy about the fact that he's making the attempt. You know what I mean? And I think that has brought me a lot of peace in my life too. I think a lot of the anger that I felt was, the fact that I still was holding that tight. Because when I mean volatile, I mean volatile, volatile. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
like the fact that things are like getting better now, I think that's brought me a lot of like peace of mind. Mhm.
No, that's good, man. That's good. That's something that a lot of us can't say, as far as a relationship with our dads, man. And I appreciate that, and congratulations to both of you, man, for trying to work that out and make it a
Mhm.
really good relationship between the two of you.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
now the name of if you will, going back to the album Serenity, name a bar on the album that scares you because maybe it's too honest, and explain the story behind that.
All right, I gotta find that because I actually wrote that down. I wanted to actually, yeah, I wanted to go into it. But if I find it, I write okay, here it goes. All right, it's in the song "Lose to Fear." Basically, I say, walk into the room and the energy switch. Now, which door did he walk through? The heavy to pitch. Try to show the alpha status, and that led me to which beta will we see today? Because there's plenty to bitch about. And then basically what I was talking about is a constant feeling that I get every single time, whether it's online, sometimes whether it's in person. I'm a pretty big dude. I'm about 6'2" and probably like 260 and something like that. So when I walk into places, I don't know if it's my face, I don't know if it's my height, I don't know what it is, but sometimes like the energy switches in the room. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Okay.
It's like you get like respect on some what's up, what's popping, but it's like the actual camaraderie never gets there because it's like a kind of like a people just get a little standoffish around me. I don't know what it is, and I can't
Okay.
explain it. But that was something that I speak about, and it's something that's very real to me because it's not the energy that I put out. In my opinion, I don't ever walk in a room and put that energy out, but I feel like I always get it. So it's like that's why that bar is so real to me because it's something that I
Okay.
go through on a regular basis. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people are afraid of the stature, man. You're a big dude, and it frightens some people, right?
Not
And
everybody would probably admit to it, but because once again, the alpha status. But
Right.
but it's something that I know and I feel constantly, and it doesn't make me feel good as a person that's trying to approach every situation with, like I said earlier, kindness and respect first. So when you get people being standoffish for no reason, it just kind of throws off the whole mood of whatever room I'm in, and I
Right.
just don't want to be in those type of situations, which leads me back to why I'm such a recluse, because I don't like to feel uncomfortable in situations that I feel should come natural. You know what I'm saying? People should, especially we all building at a show or something, watching performances. Like anybody, you see me, hey, what's up? What's popping? Like, you know what I mean? It's not. I'm
Right.
not the type of dude that's gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna look at you like that. I'm gonna be kind, but everybody doesn't see that when they first see you, or maybe just by the way you look or whatever. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get people that ask me why I'm angry, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm not angry at all. Maybe it's the beard. Maybe I don't know what it is, but
Well, maybe it's because maybe you don't smile a lot or smile enough for them, right? Everybody who's
it
not
could be.
smiling doesn't mean that they're angry. They're just not
It
smiling
could be.
at that
I
time.
just got I got a gap too, so I try to keep the smiles minimum. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious. So continuing on your writing, man, and your craft. Where do you hear the biggest jump in your pen game across your discography?
It was probably the project AARP. I was feeling a little out of place at the time with my music because of my age at the time. I was like 30 something years old, and I remember Game had said something in the track about if you're over 30 something and you still rapping, something like that. At the
Right.
time, he had said it, so I was 30 something, and I'm like, I just felt a little weird in a weird place musically, but um, I felt like I started to write again, and I started to, put the pen to the pad, and I started creating again the way I wanted to, and I felt like the pen kind of took a life of its own, and just everything I was writing, I was listening back like, whoa, like I wrote that, you know what I mean? Like, and I felt like that was the point where the pen jumped, took a leap, and from that point on, it's been on ever since, like lyrically, you know what I mean? I felt like I've always had bars, but I felt like then is when I really started saying like I got something to prove to people. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And that's weird too, man. Just thinking about what you said about Game and how he said if you're over 30 and you're still, rhyming or rapping. Why do you think, hip hop is pretty much the only genre that I know of that puts an age limit on performing or writing or making money, with your craft?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they put an age limit on it. Um, the same person that spit that bar that I'm talking about, ask him how old he is today. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And
and,
he's
he, and
and
he's
he's
still
and he's
performing, right?
and he's still performing. He's still rapping. So it's like, sometimes when you're younger, you speak out of stupidity and ignorance, and then later on you realize you end up eating those same words. But maybe that was at the case. But I think mentally I wasn't at a place where that wouldn't affect me. It affected me, so it had me feeling like it had me contemplating whether or not I wanted to rap or not anymore. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I'm probably reaching a point where I should just let it go. But every time you make music and people still gravitate towards it and tell you how dope it is what keeps me motivated, keeps me going. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. No, that's good, man, because far too often we listen to outside noise, man, and it doesn't, it doesn't help us. It stops us from achieving, something that we should achieve, right? By
Yeah,
listening to that chatter that's coming from wherever it's coming from, and they don't mean, they don't mean well for you. So I appreciate that you continued, man, after
yeah.
hearing,
Thank you, brother.
after hearing what Game said in his rhyme. So
Yeah,
um
yeah, yeah.
no, that's good, man. I appreciate that. Now this is a little off topic, man, but every time I every time I hear you right now, man, you sound like Pun to me. Has anyone ever said that to you?
Nah, nah, not at all, not at all. Like,
Nah?
probably when I was younger and I was trying to rap like him, probably when I was a young kid trying to sound like Pun, but like, nah, like, especially rap wise, I don't get no comparisons to Pun and nothing like that. Um, lyrically, they know I'm on my stuff like the way he was on his stuff. Like, it means that much to me. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that comparison, but um, in the way we talk, I don't know. I never really paid mind to to the comparison. You know what I mean? Nobody ever said it. No, nah.
Now, to me,
Maybe
when I hear you
maybe the
talk,
fact that we joke a lot.
no, just your voice, man, sounds like pun to me. Like if I turn and I don't
Yeah,
look, I hear a
yeah.
pun for some reason, man.
Oh man, that's crazy, man. Well, if I'm gonna be compared to anybody, I'd rather be compared to him. You know what I mean, than anybody else.
No,
He was a
definitely.
big inspiration for me in the Bronx growing up, man. Like, who didn't want to be like Pun, being a Puerto Rican from the Bronx? If you wasn't trying to be like Pun, you was trying to be like Joe. Just keep it at
Right,
100%. You know what I mean? But
right,
as you grow older, you start to realize that the only way people are gonna pay attention to you is if you separate yourself from what you love the most. You gotta like set yourself apart, and that's what I've been trying to do with my style and my flow and how I do things. I try not to sound like him because I know that's the one thing that people be like, oh, he's trying to sound like Pun to any Puerto Rican from the Bronx that come out. So that's one thing I stay away from. At least I try to my best.
right. Indeed, indeed. And
Hmm.
just thinking about hip hop as a whole, man, and where hip hop has come from, and kind of the unwritten rules, if you will. What hip hop purist rule do you quietly disagree with now? You know, like you said, looking back at Pun and what Pun was doing, and just visualizing what was going on back then, and you're like, as you get older, you're like, maybe I don't agree with that so much.
One of the things I don't agree with the most is that popular music can't be dope, and to me, that's a lie. People listening to music is what makes most music popular. You know what I mean? Of course, you got labels that push artists a million times on a record, and sometimes those records get popular because people start to listen to them so many times that they start to like them. But in my opinion, if it's dope to me, no boost in sales or charts or anything like that is gonna make it trash just because it got popular. I think there's some popular artists out there that really do dope music, and you got to give it up to them. There's a lot of people that make so-called pop music. I think Doja Cat is a pop artist that's ridiculously talented. You know what I mean? Like with the rapping and the singing and everything, just making music. So like I don't think you should, if you want to make a certain kind of music, that's different. But like to say that all popular music is trash, like nah. I don't subscribe to that.
No, no doubt, no doubt, and it's only popular because everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people listen to it, right?
Hmm.
I mean, that's the whole
Hmm.
term behind it, I believe.
Yeah, people, but there's labels that put money behind artists and they pump a song a million times and nobody gravitates towards it, and they got to stop playing it because people don't
Right,
care. But if the
right,
people care, they make it popular. And just because we're underground artists doesn't mean that everything that's popular is trash. You know what I mean? Like, at least not me. I don't see things like that. And I'm not gonna go and try to make a Doja Cat type of song. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna always
right.
try to be genuine. I'm gonna always try to be genuine and authentic and whatever I put out within me. But I think if it's catchy, though, it don't make it trash. If it's popular, it don't make it trash. Like whatever you think is trash is whatever you think is trash. That's it. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. No, good stuff. I appreciate that.
Hmm.
What responsibility do you feel to both the Bronx and Rochester, man, when you step into the booth?
Just to be the best lyricist that I could be, man. I want to be. I want when I'm gone. I want to leave a catalog that you can go back to, whether you from the Bronx or whether you from Rochester, and be like, you know what, he was dope, and you know what was even doper about him, that he was being himself, or at least he was attempting to be himself. You know what I'm saying? In a game full of a lot of phonies. So if they could say that about me and say that I was a dope lyricist, that I really knew how to put bars together, then I'm content with that, man. If I leave that legacy, that's my legacy. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'll be on that list as well, man. Of people who would say something like that about your
Appreciate
rhymes,
you.
right? And I
Appreciate you.
know that this is the first time we've ever kind of communicated in this
Yeah.
manner, man. So I appreciate what you've done. I appreciate the album Serenity, and I hope people go out and download it, buy it, share it, stream it, whatever it is, man, to make this project something that everybody wants to hear.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, and I appreciate Spitfire Hip Hop, man. You guys been like holding me down for a minute, posting my music on your site. Posting my people's music, Mr. Ripley. M. Doc Diego. these are my brothers. So every time I see them on your site, man, I feel good. So the fact that we were able to like chop it up and get to know each other here, you know, it's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate the opportunity, man, for real.
No, no, likewise, man. We appreciate you as well. And continuing with the responsibility, and you mentioned it just a few seconds ago. Um, and popular music. What scares you more? Going back to the streets or almost making it?
Um, well, I'm in the streets. I mean, not in the streets in the sense of where I used to be, but I'm still in the
Right.
hood. I still live in the, I'm still in the mix of action where anything I can go to the corner store, go to the Chinese restaurant and get popped. It can happen. It can happen accidentally over here in Rochester. It happens all the time. You know what I mean? People, you hear stories and it's crazy, but I don't know. I'm sorry. Repeat the question. I got caught in a tan.
No problem. What
Mhm.
scares you more, man? Going back to the streets or
I think
almost
almost
making
making
it?
it.
Yes.
I think I'm sorry. I think almost making it scares me more because I
Okay.
know that if I make it, I know that life really changes from that point forward. You know what I mean? What I'm used to on a daily basis, what brings me peace and calmness, will drastically change. You know what I mean? And I would have to find it again because once you make it, your life changes completely. I'm watching a show right now on YouTube where this, it's like a kind of like a Big Brother type of show with Spanish people from Dominican Republic. And one of the dudes on the show, his name is Fruta, right, which is fruit in English.
True. Uh-huh.
And he basically is the number one on the whole chart. And
Okay.
he's one of the most humble dudes ever. He's not somebody that's ever known any fame or anything like that. And when they ask him questions, like he speaks genuinely from the heart, and it just shows that that kind of person with that kind of heart, that great of a heart, is only like gonna face headaches when he gets out of there with whatever money he wins on that show. He's supposed to win like 3 million and
Oh
plus
wow.
cars and a bunch of other stuff. So you know how it is. He's from Bronx River. He's from Bronx.
Okay.
He was living there before he went to DR to the show. So he's
Okay.
coming back to Bronx. He's coming back to Bronx River with 3 million. The people know you won plus a new car. What you think? People think they trying to get you. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So
Unfortunately.
he's not thinking like that though. He was thinking like he's on a reality show, he's having fun. Then when they started bringing up the realities of what he's about to face once he gets out there, it hit him. It hit him, and it's like it would hit anybody that has a pure heart and only wants peace and calmness around them. Because once you make it, you got to deal with the piranhas. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
that's just something that scares me a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't think even though I do it, and you never know what could happen. People can gravitate towards your music from one day to the next, and you can make it. But I don't think I do it at a level where that's where I'm planning to go. I think I'm just trying to create catalog and probably gain a nice supporting fan base that will go out there and allow me to hopefully one day not have to work to make like not have to work a regular 9 to 5 to make money and maybe go touring and be able to like sustain myself like that, but
Right.
with enough popularity that I can live like a normal person. I don't think I'm doing it with any intent to become like the number one selling rap artist in the planet. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing that.
Right.
But but you never know. God works in mysterious ways, and I could have a song that just people start liking and they start like the everyday decent man dude. You never know. Like what's
Right.
the dude's name? I forgot his name, but yeah, Kyle Betha. It's Kyle Betha, something like that, right? So something like that. His name is. He does a
Okay.
everyday decent man song or whatever, and it kind of blew up out of nowhere. And that can happen to anybody if people just start to like it. But like I said, that's not what the level that I'm at right now or where I'm trying to take it. I want to build catalog and I want to build a legacy of a dope underground spitter that when I'm gone they could say yeah he really did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. We need to get a couple of these songs on TikTok or something, man. TikTok is
Yeah, I get that. I get that all the time, bro. Like, yo, why you don't use TikTok enough? And I'm like, man, I don't know. This
well,
the app itself be like lagging a lot to me, and it just gets annoying
okay.
to me.
Yeah, we need to get one of those songs on there, man, to help that, propel the whichever song on, right? We need to get one of them on TikTok.
I'm gonna have to start putting the hooks, like little clips of the hooks on there, so you never know. Maybe something might catch on or something, right?
Hey,
I
man,
start dancing in the background doing something.
I like that. That's funny. and speaking, you said 10 years from now, man. 10 years from now, what's the one sentence that you hope people say about Crotona P and Serenity, the album?
Man, he had. It sounded like he had fun making that album. That's all. It sounded like he had fun. He was just being himself, having fun. He was bringing back some of the old Crotona P. He was giving you some of the new Crotona P. He was just having fun. You know what I mean? He was making songs that made him happy. And that's all I want people to remember. If you like it and you love it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't, and it's not, maybe this one, I got a pretty extensive catalog. Maybe this one might not be for everybody, but I'm hoping that everybody likes it. But if you don't, there's a bunch of other music you can listen to that I've made that you could enjoy. But I hope that when they listen to Serenity 10 years from now, they say, "Man, that was a good one. That was a good one when he linked up with Silent from the Bronx and made some music, and they both have fun making it."
No, good stuff, man. Good stuff. And before we close out, where can people reach out to you, man? Maybe to collab or, become a supporter of what you do?
If you want to collab or anything like that, hit up XO Joe from Six Man Entertainment. Salute to the Bad Seed. Salute to the whole team. You can hit her up or you can hit me up on IG and we could talk business. You know what I mean? Like I'm not rapping with everybody for free anymore. Like I'll take what I do seriously, and I want the time that I invest into this to give me some kind of kickback. And I'm not trying to like treat people wrong when it comes to like payment and like that. I'm very reasonable. So hit me up if you really want to do a join, or if if that doesn't work for you, then just enjoy the music. Cop the music and check it out on Bandcamp. Check it out on all streaming sites. Hit me up on IG if you just want to chop it up, or if you want to book me for any shows or anything like that. Hit me up on CrotonaP@gmail.com, or hit up XO Joe from on IG, or hit up on Facebook.
And how do you how do you spell that XO Joe so they can get to her?
I think in Facebook her name is Joanna JoHannaXO Joe, and I forget her last name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names.
Okay, no, they should be able to get to it from there.
Yeah, Joanna XO Joe, and just hit her up, man. And if you're trying to get a feature from me or anybody from the team, whether that's Bad Seed, Honey De Niro, or Excel, or Silverback Loren, any of the other artists that we got on the squad, Joe Smith, hit him, anybody, hit up whoever you got to hit up, and hit her up and ask for whoever you want. And if you want to work with me, just let her know you want to work with me, and we take it from there. And if I'm feeling the beat, if I'm feeling, the song, then I'm gonna make it happen. We gonna knock it out. Quick turnaround. Good. I don't take weeks doing stuff either, man. I'll get it to you within 24 hours or 48 hours, and it won't be nothing trash.
No, good stuff. Good stuff. If you haven't already, make sure to go stream it, download it, buy it. Serenity, the new album from Crotona P. Crotona P, again, man, I appreciate your time. I thank you for spending this time with us and going through the new album and your background. So again, everyone out there, go support. Serenity is the album. Crotona P. Again, thank you, sir.
Of course, my brother. And this is Crotona P with SpitFireHipHop. Support. Peace.